Hello and welcome to FPL Weekly. First of all, I'd like to apologise because FPL Weekly was not weekly last week. I was away on holiday and we had, we do need to actually recap 2 game weeks. But we did have a little bit of a sulk from my co-host from the last game week. And then this week, the toys are out of the pram. So he will be remaining quite quiet for the first initial period. And I will be taking the reins. Everyone hold tight because I'm ready to go, baby. So we're going to start off with game week 5. Game week 5 was an absolute car crash for everyone who understood FPL. Every single person who gave 2 shinies about FPL had an absolute shocker. First of all, I want to say that I feel we are vindicated, myself and my co-host, for our lack of Tottenham players. They had the really easy fixture for the week. Everyone went balls deep into Tottenham, Son, Maddison, and we avoided them. It did come round a little bit to bite us in the bottom for the following week. And I did interestingly see quite a few people benched Tottenham players, those Maddison owners. But then we come on to the piece de resistance. The train has stopped at game week 6. Oh, we were going in. Now, something else that I want to highlight, me and Jonny play our own games. However, we talk a lot about FPL to each other, daily basis, probably hourly basis, if we're being truly honest. That possibly leads us to having quite similar teams with similar-ish philosophies. I am a very heavy into my first 11. Jonny likes to spread his money out a little bit more than I do. Jonny will follow. Sorry, I just had my score. Just saw my score, and it made me choke a little bit. Jonny follows certain content creators who go quite heavy into XG, and he is absolutely hoard up regarding fixtures. Like, he is all over those fixtures. I do play probably the long game a little bit too much at times, and I'm very frugal with my transfers, and I have players in my team who are for 6 weeks rather than players who are in my team for 2 weeks. So there are slight philosophies, but ultimately we went into this game week 6 with 4 differentials. 4, you can just nod. You don't need to communicate. You can just nod. Yeah, 4 differentials. 1 being goalkeeper. I had Johnston. He had Flecken. We had a clean sheet from Johnston and many conceded from Flecken. Tottenham. We had Tottenham over Gusto. Tottenham scored 12 points, a goal and a clean sheet. Very unlucky to not get a 3-point bonus, by the way. When have you ever known a defender? Let them simmer down with that violin because you're starting soon, bro. When have you known a defender to score, get a clean sheet, and not get bonus points? However, 8-0 does ring true, yeah. Purvis and Chilwell were both the same for us. The next one was Mitoma. Mitoma versus Mbumo. Mitoma was benched. Mitoma came on and scored 14 points. Oh, baby. And Mbumo got 1 point. There's a theme growing, guys. I hope you can feel the theme. And then the final differential, the best one of the lots. The answer that Johnson brought in this week was Alvarez, along with 1.5 million other people who play FPL. Alvarez got 1 big fat 0. And I had Darwin Núñez. Darwin Núñez got a goal, 6 points. Thank you very much. All of that leads into a grand total of 45 and a differential from those 4 players of 45 points over Johnson's measly grand total of 95 plays 48. That is the question. There was times on Sunday evening when there was questions about the we don't take this lightly. FPL is a serious part of our lives, and Jonny was Googling how to delete his accounts. He was he's given up on side bets with our fellow people. That he's just given it all up. The toys are out the pram. We've had to delay. We were meant to do a podcast on Sunday night. We were meant to do one. He full on declined, and yeah. I mean, if he wasn't going to talk then, I may as well have just done it on my own, mightn't I? So, but yeah. I feel like now, at the moment, you're currently like one of them sign language people by the side of me, just doing all of this. But anyway, right. So there we are. I had a really good week. I am super grateful, by the way. And I feel really fortunate. That's kind of took me really. It's flew me up the rankings, really, to be honest. So my overall rank now is 42,000. That I'm super happy with. Really good start to the season. Yeah. And look, you can have good game weeks, you can have bad game weeks. You can have game weeks that you feel like you make the decisions that are based on kind of good fixtures, good results, good this, good that, good information, and things can just not go well for you. I mean, looking at the team with the most points this week, I don't even think it had Haaland. Yeah, it didn't have Haaland in the team. So, each reigning man who scored 142 points, I am going to give you a guarantee that Jonny, you will finish higher than it. You will finish higher than it. And then the second point that I wanted to make to a lot of people, this is a game. This is a game. If it gets you to the point where it's really is not a game, you do have to stop. Unless you have a podcast called the FPL Weekly, you have to do it every single week. But yeah, I'm not. I really feel like I've not been smug about it. We have as well. We have a 24-hour rule in our friendship, of which we give each other 24 hours, where we give condolences. And then basically we tell each other what we think about him the following day. So I've already told him that I think he's a shit player in FPL. I've given him his negatives, but he's strapped his boots up and he's ready to go. Happy? No.
very much for listening, everyone. We'll see you next week. It's pretty appropriate. I might just keep it playing while I talk. Actually,
Yeah,
it's quite appropriate. Sad violin music that will make you cry. It's quite appropriate. Right. Okay. Enough of the mime artist. So, yeah, I had a really, really bad week. Ches said I don't need to go over it again, really. 95% bad luck. I did a last-minute move, which was to start Pedro over Bruno, literally with 30 seconds to go. In hindsight, really dumb. I just had a good feeling about Pedro home against Bournemouth. I thought he would start. He didn't play the 90 minutes against Athens in the week, which I went to, by the way. We won't go there. But I just had a feeling he was going to start, really, and I was wrong. So that was a bit my own fault. But like you said, there's a shit ton that went against me. Just crazy stuff, like you say, Gusto's. Just the problem with a lot of the time with this game is there's a lot of things you just can't foresee. Like Gusto, he doesn't make that challenge. Do they concede? Probably not. He probably gets a clean sheet, maybe even a bonus. So yeah, look, it is what it is. It's a bad week. I was pretty sulky for a couple of days. I'm pretty much over it now, and yeah, onwards and upwards, really. I mean, you either go two ways. You either sulk about it and quit, or you carry on. So I'm never gonna. Although I was winding you up about deleting my account, that will never happen.
No.
Regardless of how bad a week I have, that will never happen. So, yeah, but well played to Ches. Fair play. You had a good week. I think it was more I was unlucky than you were lucky.
Yeah, no. That's definitely what I want to say. Like everyone that I've mentioned that scored points, like Botman, it was I've had him in from day one to prevent a transfer in game week 5 because I know I would have wanted him. Yeah. Of which I know his price would have gone up.
It's more the Trippier that annoys me more. Casuals that have Trippier because he did well last year. He's been crap so far. Not crap, that's harsh on him, but he's not been a great FPL asset so far this season. He's done nothing.
Well, he isn't at 6.5.
Exactly.
And then,
we always judge a player on how they're doing based on their price, and we both agree that he's a bit expensive. Now there's a different conversation, maybe, but 100% for that game, 6.5 is too expensive. Is there a 2 million difference between Trippier and Botman? No. When I do a wild card, Botman will be ahead in the pecking order of Trippier. So look, people had him. Most of the casuals had him because he did well last year, and they kept faith in him. And Newcastle's run's pretty good. Botman's not lucky. Trippier's more lucky. 18 points, 3 assists, just carnage. It's just carnage. Yeah. I mean, who can predict an 8-0, 3 assists, clean sheet, 3-point bonus? It's just madness. So the issue with Newcastle as well is you just don't really know what to go for.
The one part where I got biblically lucky, was the Matoma one. Matoma being bent and coming on for
scoring after 15 seconds. It's just mad.
Yeah, and scoring and getting 2 goals. That's really lucky. I do feel really fortunate for that. But like equally, I don't know if you watched the United game. Rashford could have easily got a return, and he didn't. So and then obviously the Chilwell situation. Chilwell was the best defender for 4 game weeks, and then he randomly has been benched for the last 3.
Yeah, it's just people did well as well with players like Trippier and players like Son and Maddison at Arsenal. That's a tough game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We had our reasons not going for them because their 3 fixture run was Sheffield United was good, but then the next 2 games are tough. We had our reasons not to pick them. Rashford's 3 games are easier. So Son to go there and get 2 goals at Arsenal is a bit of a freak occurrence. That helped a lot of teams. Matoma as well, like you said. And then the Botmans, the Trippiers, Johnstons. So, look, it's one of those weeks. Like I said, the only real regret was Pedro to Bruno, and I agree with what you said on voice clip. Try not to make knee-jerky, rash, last-minute decisions because they don't usually work. So I need to learn my lesson on that. But even those 9 points, I still would have had a bad week. So, it is what it is. quickly, future plans. I've done Morris to Pedro. I've kind of given up on Pedro now, not as a player, but I've kept faith. He's not starting. He's going to start less than 50% of the games. So the sad thing is he's on penalties and he doesn't take a penalty really well. If Johnson and Welbeck got injured badly, he would come straight into my side in a heartbeat. But for the time being, that's not the case. So I've lost faith in him as an FPL option. I was later than some, but he's out for Morris, mainly because I am wildcarding next week, most likely, possibly 9, but most likely next week.
I think
so I can dead end my team with Luton players, basically.
Yeah, from looking at the game week 8, game week 8 is possibly going to be one of the lowest scoring game weeks on an average.
Exactly.
So you can get
my team for 8 is poor.
Everyone's is. Exactly.
So that's part of the reason why. And I do think price rises are going quite mad this year. I showed you my wildcard draft, right? Mm-hmm. And I penciled it in again the day after, and I was 0.4 short. Matoma went up, Botman went up, Areola went up, and there was one other that I want to have in my team that went up. So all of a sudden, the wildcard I did, I can't do anymore.
Just an interesting one on price rises. Chilwell is due to go down again tonight.
Yeah.
So Chilwell has gone this year. We're on game week 7. So he has gone up 0.3 and then is now due to be going down 0.4. That is crazy. I know he's a Chelsea player. So someone mentioned, I heard someone mention it the other day. Let's use Højlund as a really good example. Højlund, he starts 10 minutes for Man United, and his price looks like it's going to go up by 0.2, mainly because he plays for Man United. There's so many people, so many of those 9 million, 10 million who are playing the game want to be involved in Man United players. They want Man United players in their team because a lot of them will play it for fun. So there are certain teams like Man United, like Chelsea, like Liverpool, like Arsenal, like Man City, whose players are the top of people's lists because they're popular players. Whereas it's if you look at someone like, I'm going to use another example, like Matty Cash, for example. Matty Cash he's not going to get the traction out there because even though he's a really good option, it's like he's not going to get the traction there, so his price isn't going to go up. They're not going to get those big fluctuating prices. So that's just something that I wanted to throw out there with regards to price rises, and they are going mental at the moment. And the reason why they're going mental is because there's so many people playing the goddamn game. There's so many people playing the game.
That's true.
And
activity. Yeah.
So the people who are playing the game are currently still playing as well. So you get up to Christmas and out of them 9 million who are still playing, who's given up, it's
me. So I was thinking 9 initially because there's an international break, and you tend to want to do it after an international break. But my team for 8's really bad. All of a sudden, quite quickly, really bad. Although, give it 2-3 weeks ago, we were saying how good my team was and how you want your team closer to mine, etc., etc. But now, excuse me, my team
steady on.
It's that bad. Ended Jackson. I've taken Jackson out actually. Chilwell's benched. There's a lot of cracks to paper over. Foden's fixture starts to get really bad. Saka's now got a knock. There's a lot of things in my team that I want to sort out. And Luton. So I'm bringing Luton in because they've got the double this game week. And the reason Ches isn't as much is because you're thinking about doing your wildcard later. and you're trying to get through now, and that's fair enough. And there's two ways of playing this game, or more than two ways of playing this game, obviously. But because my team is full of players I don't really want, I can choose my wild card now, and I can dead end my team. What that really means is I can loosen players now for the double, and I don't need to carry them forward. Whereas if Ches went looting players, he's got a fire to put out because he doesn't really want. No one, let's be honest, without being disrespectful, wants looting players going forward. But for next game week, they're great because they're doubles. Really quickly, I'm going to captain Morris as well. I know initially that's going to sound madness, but Luton have got a double. His predicted points are very close to Haaland's. Because I had a bad game week, I feel like I need to catch up. This could be a costly move. Haaland could get 15 and Morris could get 5, and I look like an idiot, but I feel like it's the right time to take a calculated risk. Not a stupid risk, a calculated risk. So yeah,
he is also nailed to get 90 and 90
on penalties.
And plus, if Luton have got any chance of staying up, they need probably 4 points from these next two games.
Yeah,
without sounding really morbid about it, like you need your striker to turn up for these next two games.
I'm aware it's a risk, and I'm fully prepared for Haaland to outscore him. But because he's actually still going to be quite low owned in the grand scheme of things, people like you don't want to go for him, one, because he's rubbish, and two, you'd have to take him back out again. So he's going to be quite low owned. So I feel the upside outweighs the downside, basically, for me.
Yeah.
It suits me.
I mean, right. Haaland scores. That's his baseline. His baseline is 6 points. Okay.
I would take 6. Yeah.
Yeah, his baseline is 6 points. If you think about Morris, you've got 2 points. His baseline is 4.
Yeah.
His upside is, an okay game week is 6.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's terrible.
2 games. Can he get a goal and an assist and then a goal? Possibly.
Mate,
that's be 11, 15, 18, 19. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't hate it. The reason why I don't hate it is because I just think that you're guaranteed 180 minutes from him, and they are going into these two fixtures looking at it going, that Burnley game is already a 6-pointer. It's already a 6-pointer.
Yeah,
and from what I've seen, Luton are better than Burnley.
Yeah.
So, and they're at home in that fixture, aren't they? I think it's is it away.
Yeah, away at Everton and then home against Burnley.
Yeah. So they're probably looking for a draw, and
the other thing
against.
Is really, I agree. Sorry, the other thing, really quick before I forget, is the other reason I'm doing game week 8 wildcard. I should be. I never pinned down anything. Is so many of the games are on Saturday this week. So many. So what that means is there's going to be wild price rises Saturday night, and I can beat a lot of them. So what would happen is, if you look at the fixtures this week, wow. So 8 of the games are on Saturday. There's 6 3 o'clock kickoffs. There's a 12:30 to 5:30. So after all of that 8 games, there's going to be some players that do really well, and there's going to be 6, 7 players that go up in price. Well, I can just activate my wildcard straight away, take out the players that are going to go down, and put in the players that are going to go up.
Yeah.
So I can kind of beat that price rise. I need to be quite clever with it.
Part of the
reason why as well.
I think it's doable. That's the other thing, definitely, people, you need to remember that if you are going to wildcard and you're committed to wildcarding, do it on the first minute that you can. And the main reason why we say that is because you can then start getting in players that you think are going to rise, and you know what? You can still even take them out. So, but
huge mistake I made last year, though. Do you remember? Huge mistake was be sensible with it, but make your moves, make some moves, but be careful. A couple of moves that spring to mind, especially one was Martinelli. I brought him in first game of the season, 6.5. I decided I probably didn't want him, but I was playing around with my team. Transferred him out for 6.7. 3 days later, I decided I actually did want him and transferred him back in for 7. I've just literally lost 0.3 million by doing nothing.
Yeah. Yes, but like, you were stupid. That was such bad Mario. Like,
yeah, but I was stupid, and I've been playing the game since secondary school. So what I'm saying is, if you're fairly new to it, you can make that mistake.
Yeah, I mean, surely no one's going to take out Haaland. I mean, he's not gone up in price that much, but like,
No.
surely,
but a player
surely
that rises in value. Let's say Mbeumo. Let's say because I don't really want to like Mbeumo, but his fixtures going forward aren't great. But then a day before, I decide, actually, that's dumb. I want Mbeumo back in. Well, I sell him for 6.7 and I get him back in for 6.9. So if I'm going to keep Mbeumo, I need to keep Mbeumo. Don't take him out and then put him back in and then you lose money. So just be wary. We don't talk about it forever. Just be wary of that. I cost myself, I think it was something like 0.7, 0.8 million in team value last Christmas by playing around too much. So play around loads, but do it on a different site. Do it on a draft basis. Don't do it on a. I will only be kind of doing early transfers on players I think will go down or players in that I think are going to go up. And be careful who you transfer out. So we'll do more about wild card next week. We're going to do a bit of a wild card special. I'm going to lead it mostly because I'm going to be doing one, but obviously Ches is going to be chipping in a lot as well.
Yeah. So a bit of an update on what my plans are. So I have already made one move, and that was Chilwell, because we had him in.
He guaranteed he was going. I guaranteed he was going down. Basically, it was a shoo-in that he was going down.
Yeah, he was going down, and then basically I had to kind of make a little bit of a decision about who I wanted. Now, I'd kind of jumped in with 1 foot with regards to not doing a wild card, so therefore I needed to think about the next kind of 6 game weeks. And the next 6 game weeks, and the other thing as well is, I'm sure my team will be on our socials somewhere. I'm not super committed with one team. Jonny is very committed with 3 Chelsea players, 2 United players. Like you're very committed with those teams, and when they don't work out, like Chelsea's really not worked out. Like that's how you end up in the position where you don't do well for a couple of weeks because those players. You know what the heck? What has Gusto, Jackson, and Chilwell got you in the last 3 weeks?
Yeah,
nothing. So, and that's mainly because Chelsea's form has just dropped off an absolute cliff. You know, it wasn't long ago. I think it was Friday, Bank Holiday Friday. I was watching behind my hands that Chelsea Friday night fixture because I even said to you, I don't bet that often. But I didn't have Jackson in my team, but I knew he was going to score.
Yeah.
So I put a bet on him to score anytime, and he scored. So I was happy because I won like a tenner, but I was not. But I knew I couldn't. I didn't want him in my FPL team because I was convinced he was a bad player. So. But so
and for him to get 5 yellow cards in 6 game weeks is scary.
Oh, is it? I mean, that's another thing this year. That's a big difference. Is your players will, I guarantee, your players will end up missing fixtures because of 5 yellow cards. You know, and it's something to watch out for.
Something to keep an eye on. The biggest one is Gordon. We're both interested in Gordon, and not because I love him as a player, but because he's too cheap. Newcastle's run is very good. They're clearly capable of scoring goals. Barnes is out for, by the looks of it, months. Gordon seems like he's nailed, and he's gone up 0.1, but even 5.6 million, he can make a mockery of that price.
Yeah.
He's lively. I don't think he's got a great end product. He burnt us a bit last year, but he's playing for a different side this year, and he creates a lot. We can win a penalty. He takes on a player. He's a good enabler at 5.6, mate. He's a really good enabler.
I'm seriously looking at him because he enables you to get up. He enables you to get up to Salah, and I've done the maths around it, and if I take out Saka, so I remove Saka and I remove Foden, then I can get Salah, and I have 4.6. No, I only have 4.6. But
you'd have to find $1 million somewhere else. Saliba down maybe, or
Wissa down probably,
or Wissa down. Wissa Archer. Wissa Archer. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the other move to do it is to keep Foden and remove Rashford. I think this would work. I'm just doing it now.
I think Saka's a really interesting one. Because...
So if I remove Rashford and Rashford Saka, I can get Salah and Gordon. Salah and Gordon versus Saka and Rashford is probably pretty close, really.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Liverpool's run coming up is exceptional.
So like that move, and that would cost me 0.4 because I have made that transfer. I've got Matty Cash in. Matty Cash is a great enabler. He's 4.7. His heat map is an absolute joke.
His XGI is through the roof.
Yeah, and Aston Villa are okay. The fixtures are good.
Very good coming up. Extremely good, mate. Extremely good. If you look at this, so Brighton at home, okay. Wolves away, good. West Ham at home, very good. Luton at home, very good. Forest away, very good. Fulham at home, very good. Tottenham away, not great. Bournemouth away, very good. So that run from 8 to 14 is superb. I'm looking for my wildcard. I'm looking at Triple Villa. I'm at least going to go 2, Diaby and Cash, and I'm looking at tripling up. I'm looking at Digne. My only concern about Digne is Moreno coming back.
Yeah, Moreno's due to come back, isn't he?
Are they gonna drop Digne? He's been really good.
Watkins?
Are they gonna drop him? I'm like you with him. He gives me the ick. Penalties tip me over the edge. No penalties tip me over the edge.
Who's on pens though?
Douglas Luiz.
5 million.
Yes, he's a possible enabling midfield, but the problem is he's just pens.
He's literally just pens.
He's just pens because he's a holding midfielder.
He is a pens and yellow cards. Like that's what he gets.
Yeah, he is. He's a Champions League midfielder option. You know what I mean? Because they get points for tackles and stuff. But he's not a good option really.
We are the fantasy Premier League weekly.
Sorry, we are. Exactly.
But, however, the twist in the knife was the fact that we started FPL Champions League. So
Champions there as well.
Champions League. Right, listeners, we play FPL really seriously. Okay, we are pot committed in a lot of leagues. We are, not pot committed from like a financial point of view, but we're balls deep on the fact that we do a frigging podcast. If you do this, you've got to kind of be half decent, right? And also we are coming to win the GTF Invitational, so we are fully committed to that. So we definitely wanted to play Champions League with a little bit of fun in the back of our brains. Well, I did definitely.
I struggle with doing things for fun. I struggle. I'm so competitive. Competitive.
So after the first game week, it's great because you can change your captain. So the first game week, I think Haaland scored a goal. So he was 12 points, I think. It was 6 double. I thought to myself, you know what? Fuck it.
Screw it. Yeah, exactly.
Screw it. We are going. I'm going all in. Bellingham, changing it to Bellingham captain. I watched the game. I really enjoyed the game, and I really enjoyed it when Bellingham got a little bit of a tap in the
It was
94th.
0-0. It was 0-0 for 93 minutes.
Yeah,
You get a goal from your captain and the man of the match 3-point bonus doubled. 16 points swing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Kane did alright for me, to be fair as well. He did alright for me, and he got a dubious penalty. So it was okay, but yeah, that was scary. But anyway, we need to get off Champions League because we are FPL. Really quickly, Douglas Luiz, yes, but he's 5.4. Would you pay 0.2 for Gordon? Yes,
No.
you would.
Yeah.
You'd pay the 0.2 and have Gordon, wouldn't you? So,
I've actually got that in my team here. I think that might be a really sensible move to do
David,
Saka.
Liverpool, by the way. So we talk a lot about Salah. Now I'm going to wildcard him in, but Ches kind of needs to prioritise getting Salah in if he's not going to wildcard. I think from game week 9 onwards, Everton at home, unreal. Forest at home, unreal. Luton away, unreal. Brentford at home, unreal. City away, very hard, granted. But then Fulham at home, Sheffield United away, Crystal Palace away. That run, right? 1, 2, 3. They've got 8 games, right? One of them's tough. 7 of them are very easy. Salah could go mad. Darwin could go mad.
That I've just sent you through my team there. It's costing me for a point. It's costing me a 4-point hit to do it, which it might not. It might not do because I could do. I could bring Gordon in and leave, and then just leave the money in my bank, and then do the Rashford one next week. It looks.
So that's not costing you any. Did that cost you? Oh, it's costing you 4 because you've done a transfer already. Yeah.
Yeah, but I could just do Gordon to Saka. I could do Saka to Gordon this week.
Yeah.
And then save the money in the bank, and then next week do Rashford to Salah.
Saka's a really interesting one because he's got this knock. The rumours are he's not going to be playing against Bournemouth. So if he's not playing against Bournemouth, he's then got Man City at home and Chelsea away. I'm not saying Chelsea are great, but it's tough. So I saw Focal say this, I think it was on Twitter, saying people are like, no, hold, because he's only out for a week. I can understand people that are taking him out and bringing him back. I would have a plan to bring him back for Sheffield United at home on the game week 10. But if he's not going to play 7, City then Chelsea away, I'm wildcarding probably next week. I probably won't have him on my wildcard team, but I'll have a plan to get him in for game week 10.
I just think that, as I say, between now and 10, those two players, Salah and Gordon, are going to score me more points than Rashford and Saka.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm probably more than likely going to do those 2 moves. And the injury has helped me a little bit, but I just need to make sure that I'm monitoring price rises and falls.
Yeah,
I can do it.
So you had 2 transfers, didn't you? So you've done cash for Chilwell, and now you've got 1 left. I only had 1, but it made sense for me to go early because I was always going to do Morris to Pedro. And the good thing is about Saka injury is my first sub was a headache, and now it's not because I'm just going to bring Mbeumo in for Saka. So I knew that I had that backup. That's why I went early with the transfer as well. And you went early with the transfer because you got 1 spare anyway. So, just the little things to think about. So, shouldn't cost me too much. Yes, my bench is going to be poor, but we don't really need a bench this year, especially with 5 subs, with games going on 100 minutes.
Yeah, I've mentioned it to you that I think the chance of, I saw some stats, and I'm sure it was the chance of your 3rd sub coming on was 0.01, was it? The chance of your 2nd one was 1%, and the chance of your 1st sub coming on was 10%, and that was last year. I guarantee that all of that is now swayed worse.
Yeah,
I probably would say it's on an invested player, an invested manager. Your 1st sub will come on maybe 5% of the time. Your 2nd sub will come on.
Yeah, I agree.
I
would say in an ideal world, you would have in a wild card, and we'll talk about this next week, you would have 2 duds and 1 okay.
That's what I would have. That's exactly what I have. But you've got to remember that it's one of your duds. Probably those 2 duds would be defenders, right? And one of those duds has to be a playing dud. So like a
Archer.
Bell or Archer, because because if you're pot committed on a strategy, then all of mine are playing. They are duds. So for example, I've got Bell in, who obviously has a double game week. He is a dud on the basis of his value, but like he still is playing every week.
This is the best year for duds I've ever seen. There's never been a year where I've looked at dud defenders, dud forwards with that many minutes. Archer is a dud at 4.5, and he's their record signing, and he's going to play every week. I'll say Sheffield United are really good, but he's a dud. Van Heck's a dud at 4 million. He's probably going to be playing most weeks for Brighton. Bell's a dud. Yes, he plays for Luton. He plays every game. So there's not many years. Sarr's a dud at Tottenham, 4.6. So 4.5. So there's not any years I can recall with this many dud options that play. So you can have like Sarr or Van Heck or Baldock when he gets fit again, or Bell or Archer, players like that. But yes, they're duds. But if you desperately need them, they'll give you minutes as well. So that's why I kind of want to go down that route of maximising my 11, because I'm always guilty of having a bit too much money on my bench. So I'm going to try and go down that route. I'll be very surprised if I don't go Nunez, Haaland, Archer. That looks pretty locked into me. That looks pretty locked into me. I don't really like any of the other strikers in a wild card. I don't really like any of them.
Yeah.
And I'm going to want to play Darwin and Haaland every game. Haaland's a lock. Darwin's fixtures are incredible. I'm going to want to play both of those 100%. I'm going to need to bench one of my front 8. Archer's going to be an easy bench for me, because you have to still have 5 midfielders. You have to still have 5 player midfielders, because the midfield options are still unreal. So, a dud defender, at least one dud defender and a dud midfielder, or probably the striker. Because, again, I think the midfielder options are really good. I don't think the striker options are as good. So I'd rather have a dud striker than a dud midfielder.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect. I think we've got that pretty covered. I think this week is. I'm going to throw it out there. I think it's a very changeable week. There's a very good chance that there's going to be some upsets. And what I mean by that is there's the reason why I really fancy getting Gordon in this week if Xhaka's not going to play at Bournemouth. That Burnley fixture for Newcastle off the back of an 8-0 win. There's no chance of him being a yellow card. He's not going to. Obviously, he can't get a yellow card now. So, what happens if he picks one up in the community?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay. So he's definitely. You've got Gordon for this fixture, so that is great. So honestly, I think I'm 90% sure I'm going to do that.
Burnley at home, is it?
Burnley at home. I just think
Barnes is injured. You can do some damage there.
Yeah, I might have a look. I might keep an eye on price rises, because that might happen sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to keep Rashford for this week with a plan then to change him from in the following week. It'll be because obviously Liverpool have got Tottenham away, so to go to Salah, Rashford to Salah.
I agree. I think Salah is an incredible option. Do you know what my issue with Rashford is? And people are giving up on him. Palace at home, Brentford at home, Sheffield United away, City at home, fine, okay. Fulham away, Luton at home, Everton away. Their run is incredible.
I know, but I do have the cover of Bruno.
Yeah, true. You don't need both, but their fixture run is really good.
And that's okay. I'm content with. I need to. I feel like over the next 6 game weeks, Salah without scoring. So that's where we're at.
My game week relies on Man U battering Palace. I've got triple City attack, so I need City to batter Wolves, and I need Morris to outscore Haaland. That's kind of literally my week.
Yeah.
In a
so,
nutshell.
to be perfectly honest, I'm really rallying for you this week. I'm not going to lie. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I feel like you do deserve a little bit of luck. It has been a bit shitty for you, I must admit. And obviously, it's really hard when you've got the genius that is myself, who you're trying to compete with. So
the apprentice has overtaken the master. It's quite sad, really.
Hard to take. It must be hard.
Robin has overtaken Batman, and that's a scary thing. Doesn't feel right. Hopefully, Batman will come back with a vengeance this week. Do you know what I need? I need a Morris hat trick at Goodison Park.
Oh, I'd love it. I would love it. I'd love to see that cheesy grin. That cheesy grin.
I would be so
and sound me up.
Fixture to come. Oh, it'd be so delightful. But it won't happen. But we can all dream. Dreams are good. Dreams are great.
We can. I hope everyone listens, likes, subscribes, does all of the works, and has a really good game week. And stay happy, everyone, because that's the key. Stay happy.
Don't be sulky like me. As you can see, I ended the pod well. Started off being sulky. I wasn't talking. Played my music. I had a bad couple of days. But
you did.
Onwards and I was grumpy. I was very, very miserable. But like you said, 48-hour rule, 24-hour rule, whatever it is. A couple of days, I'm over it. And we you can soon enough have an amazing game week as have a bad one. Forrest scores a few goals. I'm back in the room. So yeah, let's see. Fingers crossed.
Perfect. Thank you so much, guys. See you later. Bye.